Well, as you well know by now, the House Committee on Oversight and Accountability held their first hearing for President Biden's impeachment inquiry yesterday. And of course, the legacy media, not only yesterday, but it has been for weeks, in fact, through this entire process, they've been fed the memo, if you will, to circle the wagons and protect the president. No matter where the evidence may lead, protect the president. In fact, Politico ran the cover this morning. They stated that, and I say this because I've seen it over and over, but their statement was no evidence has emerged that the business dealings of Hunter Biden or other family members directly affected Joe Biden's decisions. Now, this is the message. You're going to hear this over and over. There's no evidence. Well, that is just not accurate whatsoever. The legacy media has been moving the goalpost from the very beginning on all of this. And they essentially accept the premise that the Biden family, okay, maybe they accepted bribes, they may say, but it didn't influence the president. It didn't influence the vice president. Folks, they just keep moving the goalpost. And, you know, all of this is a far cry, if you'll remember, from President Biden angrily insisting to the American people that he never even discussed business dealings with his son. I mean, all of this is just so convoluted. Well, joining me now to discuss all the ways that the media have seemed to be banding together to protect the big guy is Curtis Houck. He's managing editor of Newsbusters. Curtis, welcome to the program. Great to have you.
Good to be with you, sir.
All right, Media Research Center and Newsbusters, y'all have been all over this, how the media, the legacy media, has been running interference for the president. Tell us some of the ways that they have been doing that, where they just simply have not been honest and forthcoming with the American people.
Well, really, there's two ways that they've been shaping the media coverage of this Biden impeachment inquiry. The first one is not covering it all. And we have a litany of examples that we've chronicled over recent months at Newsbusters. Currently, in our must-read section, we have a story. We've boiled down the 9 biggest single findings thus far by either the New York Post or Congressman Comer or another media source. And we looked at how much coverage has been on ABC, CBS, and NBC. And across all 9 scandals, there's been 0 coverage. You know, they include the 20 LLCs that the Biden family has used to take in their tens of millions of dollars, or Biden's pseudonym in his vice presidency that he used in his email conversations, or Hunter Biden's business partner, Eric Schwerin, getting 19 White House visits. Those are just a few examples of things that just have not been covered. The most recent example is the hundreds of thousands that was wired from the Chinese business partners of Hunter Biden to him, except he listed his father's address in Wilmington, even though at the time he was living in California. But the other option, Congressman, is you do it this other way. If they do cover it, they shape it and they deceive it by saying there's no evidence, as you were talking about in your open. They just try to speak this into existence. And it reminds me so much of, I know it's a sacrilegious name to bring up, but Mitt Romney would say this to Barack Obama in 2012, just because you say something over and over again doesn't make it true. And that's what the liberal media are trying to do with this by saying, ignore all of this. So we're just supposed to assume that we all have nearly 24 LLCs set up, you know, connected to our family, or that our business partners visit the White House all the time. You know, I mean, that makes absolutely no sense. And the reason it matters, finally, is because of election interference. Our poll after the 2020 election found that 45% of Biden swing state voters didn't know about Hunter Biden's life of ruin. And if they did, 9.5% would have abandoned him.
Yeah, you know, you would think by watching all of this that it would literally require President Biden to sign a paper saying, I did it, I'm guilty, for the media to finally come to the point of saying, all right, well, maybe there is some evidence. I mean, this is, the evidence is tremendous out there. Isn't this the whole purpose of an impeachment inquiry, is to take all the circumstantial evidence, or whatever you want to call it, and follow that evidence to where it may lead?
That's exactly right. And to your first point, I've said this before in other media appearances. It's as if the only thing that would convince the press out there is a publisher's clearinghouse size check with Joe Biden's name on it being found in his garage next to his classified documents. That short of that, they would not be interested. They would continue to say that there was no direct evidence. ABC News said that just yesterday morning, that there's not one single piece of paper or bank account or wire transfer that connects Joe Biden to Hunter Biden or his brother Jim. And that, I mean, that's just simply ludicrous, as I just laid out. But what they try to do, as I said earlier, is, just like create this perception in voters' minds that it's political, it's a complete waste of time, and that they don't want you to be curious. And that's the issue. That's the bigger issue, that they don't want you to be curious. They don't want you to be searching for this. And that's where big tech comes in as well. The media could be curious about this. All of President Trump's indictments, the media are saying, what next? What next? What do we still not know? What do we need to investigate further? It's we, whereas with Hunter Biden and Joe Biden, the Biden family, it's Republicans haven't proven anything. The onus is on Republicans and your former colleagues to prove all of this. You know, we're really not going to do anything. It's for us, it's for you guys to prove this.
Absolutely. Curtis Houck from Newsbusters, thank you so much for joining us. Great input. We appreciate it.